Trigger Warning is the #1 movie on Netflix right now, and it is described as Rambo meets John Wick, but unfortunately it comes nowhere near as good as those movies. And if I'm being honest, this is one of the worst movies I've seen this year. And, you know, if you thought Madame Web was bad, then buckle up, you know, Trigger Warning, because this movie takes it to a whole new level. So there are a lot of problems with this movie, a lot. You know, the dialogue is awful, the story is whatever. Jessica Alba isn't the greatest actor in the world, although she handles her choreography really well. But, you know, my takeaway, like when I walked away from this, I couldn't help but think that, like, I'm kind of getting tired of this. Like, I really am. Like, this genre is becoming tired. No, I'm sure that there are a lot of people, there are a lot of people on YouTube right now that are like anti-girl boss, anti-woke. And if you're coming here to my channel to see me rant about, you know, girl bossing and anti-woke stuff, then I hate to break it to you, but you're in the wrong place. I don't care about wokeness. I don't give a fuck. When I'm judging a movie, when I'm criticizing a movie, like, wokeness is like the very bottom of my list. I'm not even thinking about it. So to me, it doesn't really matter. But there is a lot of pushback against girl bossing, which is like overpowered female, you know, action heroes. And, you know, I would actually even go further and say that, like, I'm kind of just tired of overpowered action heroes in general, male or female. Like, when did everyone just become Jason Bourne? I mean, when Jason Bourne came out, it was kind of a new and exciting, you know, thing. It's just like, oh, a spy movie with this guy who can beat people up, and he's really intelligent, and he's dark and mysterious. And it was kind of, you know, it kind of felt like a brand new thing that we've never really seen before. And, you know, now everything is like that. Like, every action star now in an action movie are just overpowered. They're great at everything. They beat everybody up. Like, I don't know. I hate to be the boomer here, but, you know, when I was growing up, we had characters like John McClane, or, you know, something like Axel Foley, Martin Riggs. You know, these kind of average, I mean, most of these people were cops, but they're just average Joes stuck in situations they got to find themselves out of. And now just everything is just an overpowered fucking action hero stuff. And I'm kind of just bored with it all. It's like, you know, you got John Wick, you got Equalizer, you know, Extraction 2, Atomic Blonde, this movie. I mean, these are just a dime a dozen, and it's just kind of exhausting. Like, I kind of want to see more action heroes that are just normal human beings and not like, you know, overpowered fucking martial arts masters that can just beat people up and handle every situation perfectly. And unfortunately, Trigger Warning falls into this category. This movie is just made to have cool action, and to be honest, you know, the action is actually kind of cool. I will admit, the action, some of this action here was something I wasn't really expecting. I was expecting more like fighting, ha ha ha, but it's really like a lot of grabbing and body contorting and throwing. Like, it was actually pretty fucking fun to watch. But everything outside of that is just so dull and boring and unoriginal. The dialogue is laughable. This movie is a goddamn train wreck. And just like, there's just weird shit throughout the movie. Like, if you guys have seen the movie, remember when she comes home to the bar and she just starts touching everything? She goes to a picture frame and touches it, goes to the desk, touches it, like she's touching the memories of her past. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Some of these moments in the movie are just so baffling, where I'm just like, why? Like, there's a scene where she gets a machete, and then there's like a silhouette where she's standing by the sunset, and she's like fucking doing practice out in the woods, not in the woods, but, you know, the desert. I'm like, why? Why are we doing this? Or, you know, the part when she picks up a rock and she's like, hey, I don't think this was, you know, due to a cave-in. And so she goes to the house, grabs a fucking grenade, starts walking out into the front yard and having a normal, casual conversation with her friend. And then out of fucking nowhere, she's like, plug your ears. And she just tosses the grenade and explodes. It's like, why didn't we discuss that? Why didn't you say, hey, I think it could have been caused by a grenade. Let me see if I can toss this and see what the rocks look like. No, it's just like, oh, we're having a casual conversation. Oh, by the way, plug your ears. Boom. It's like, what? There's just so many moments in this movie that are just like, they make me so frustrated. I'm like, why? Who signed off on this? Who thought this was a good idea? It's so ridiculous. This whole movie is just ridiculous. But yeah, the story here, I mean, did anybody care? I mean, yeah, her dad dies. She comes home, finds a conspiracy of gun running through the mines, and the governor's behind it. Spoiler alert. And, you know, she takes revenge because they killed her father, and yada, yada, yada. It's just so bland and vanilla, and It was painful. This movie is only an hour and 45 minutes, but this movie felt longer than fucking Killers of the Flower Moon. This might as well have been 3.5 hours long. It was pretty rough. The one thing I did appreciate, though, was that the action is actually, very sparse, and they're very quick. They're not long, extended fight scenes, and I actually kind of appreciate that. Sometimes action movies can revel in the action and just bombard you with a long ass action scene. Sometimes it can be kind of exhausting and loses its spice, but here, like, the action's very quick. Like the moment, the moment in the trailer when she beats up a couple guys in a convenience store, that scene's only like maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and it was like that's like the perfect length. You go in, have her beat a bunch of people up, and then we're over. So I did appreciate that, at least, about the movie, is that the action here is very short and very condensed instead of like a massive fucking action extravaganza fight scene. Everything outside of these scenes is just, God, it makes you want to fall asleep. And this movie is basically taking melatonin. I mean, you don't have to go to the store to buy sleeping pills. Just watch Trigger Warning and you'll be asleep within 30 minutes. And I don't know if this is supposed to be like a big comeback for Jessica Alba, but like, to me, I'm not trying to pick on her. I mean, I grew up with Jessica Alba. I watched a lot of, Dark Angel and a bunch of like early 2000s action movies that she was in, but she's not the greatest actor. I mean, she tries, God bless her, but I didn't believe this role at all for her. But again, she's good at the choreography. When she's beating people up, it looks great. She's phenomenal. She doesn't miss a beat. She does ooze action hero. So for that, she thumbs up. But in terms of everything outside of the action, a little rough. In fact, all of the characters in this movie are kind of laughable. At least there's a couple of people having fun. Like there's a character named Elvis who's like the dickhead villain of the movie. Not the villain of the movie, but he is a villain in the movie, and he's having a lot of fun. He was a blast to watch, even though he was an asshole. At least he was having fun. Anthony Michael Hall is basically wasted. He just plays the governor who just sits in offices and says, offensive things because, of course. I don't know why they're injecting this kind of social political commentary on there. Again, I don't really care about all that kind of stuff, but it just seems out of place in this movie, which was kind of weird. But yeah, this really is one of the worst movies I've seen this year. I mean, if you enjoyed it, God bless you. I'm glad you did. Like, genuinely, I'm glad someone liked this movie. But like, man, this is easily one of the worst. It's like this and Madame Web. Like, those two are having a fight right now. Which one's the worst movie? Because, God, this was just a slog. But hey, at the end of the day, it's on Netflix, and you ain't got nothing to do today, so, give it a watch. Hop in my comments. Let me know what you thought of the movie. Let me know if there are more ridiculous scenes that I didn't cover that you thought were just absurd. I would love to hear your thoughts and have a conversation, have a dialogue about Trigger Warning. This is the one. This is the one that I want you to comment on. This is the one that, we need to have a discussion on, this deep, deep Trigger Warning movie. But no, seriously, let me know what you thought of this movie. I thought it was complete nonsense. And again, one of the worst movies I've seen this year. So yeah, let me know what you thought, and I will see you on the next one.